The Cougars are 10-7 after February, but with the turn of the calendar comes another turn to be better. And they're going to have to be better as they take on this juggernaut West Florida team. Can CSU rebound, or will they continue their midseason slide? You're about to find out right here on Cougar Sports TV. At Ragsdale Field in Columbus, Georgia, it's the Columbus State Cougars and the West Florida Argonauts. And a pleasant good evening to you, everybody. Will DeBoer behind the mic right here on Cougar Sports TV. Thanks for joining us at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. Columbus State, just 3 days removed from being swept at the hands of conference rival North Georgia. But rather than have time to go back and lick their wounds, they're right back at it again against a West Florida team that scores over 6 runs per game. CSU will turn to Jake Ezell to try and put out the fire. Ezell, the midweek starter for the Cougars. He is making his 5th appearance of the year, his 3rd start on the hill. A 4.05 ERA in just over 13 innings is what he brings to the mound. Columbus State going with their semi-regular starting lineup out there. The outfield left to right, Kevin Manos, Brendan Collins, Jackson Oliver. The infield left to right is Blake Edwards, Ryan Eiley, who just caught that throw from the catcher, Carson Bowers, and Mike McClellan. And the catcher today, Dustin Averett. Averett, one of the few Cougars to have a very good day against North Georgia on Saturday. Hit a couple home runs in those games. Gets another start behind the mask. And as the clock strikes 6 on a beautiful evening from Columbus, GA, we are just about ready to start. Stepping into the box is Chase Kiefer to lead it off for the Argos. Ezell adjusts himself, grabs the cap, and he stands in waiting for the sign. And the first pitch of the game is a fastball down the heart of the plate, a called strike 1. Well, the starting lineups were delayed slightly about 5 minutes ago when Jake Ezell had to attend to a personal matter. Kept him from meeting the team in their customary pregame circling up before they all run out into the field as he skips the ball in the dirt for ball 1. But he's ready now. And he's looking to retire Chase Kiefer, the leadoff man for the Argos. 4.11 batting average coming into this game. 7 stolen bases in 7 attempts. And he'll take another strike. This one catches the inside corner, a called strike 2. Now Ezell ahead in the count. Looking for a good start to this ball game. Jake is ready with the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Averett fishes it out of the dirt and throws over to first base for the out. And a good start for Jake Ezell. He gets Kiefer chasing on a breaking ball. And there's one man away. That'll bring Alex Green to the dish. Green, 357 hitter. 5 doubles coming into this one. And doubles, extra base hits, runs, that's the story of this West Florida offense. As the first pitch, a fastball catches the outside corner, a called strike 1. Yes, West Florida scores 6.13 runs per game. And believe it or not, that is 6 out of 10 teams in their own Gulf South Conference. It's a league filled with offense. And West Florida in the middle of that pack as Ezell misses upstairs, ball 1. But they still come into this game with a good overall record, 11-5 through the first month of the season. Columbus State, of course, 10-7, but just 3-6 in conference play. The 1-1 from Ezell comes way inside. Green has to do the old knee dance out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. It's been a tale of extremes in the first 3 conference series for the Cougars. A sweep at UNC Pembroke, a sweep of Young Harris in this ballpark a couple weeks ago as Ezell misses high and outside, ball 3. And then last weekend, a sweep at home at the hands of North Georgia, their first not only conference series loss, or sweep rather, but the first conference series loss in over 3 years. Green fouls it back. The count goes to 3-2. And so Greg Appleton's bunch, a team that came into the season with great expectations, picked as co-PBC champions with Lander, who did so well last season. And they find themselves at a crossroads. The payoff pitch coming. Sliced foul down the street behind us, heading out towards the old rec center. Better hope they reinforce those windows, or else there's going to be some costly repairs to come throughout the months of March and April. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming to Alex Green, looking to stand in and start a rally for the Argos. Payoff pitch, and he fouls this one back as well. Jake Ezel has 1 strikeout already, and he's on the verge of a second. If he can get this 8th pitch past Alex Green. And here comes the payoff pitch. Another pop-up foul. This over our heads in the press box. The count remains full. Kind of an epic battle coming up here. Green and Ezel locked in their duel. The 9th pitch of the at-bat on the way. Green steps back in those green jerseys of West Florida. What do you expect his name to be? Orange? And here's the 9th pitch from Ezel. Swung on and foul, tipped into the glove of Averett. Strike 3. Got him with a slider. Jake Ezel winning the battle on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Green sits down after fighting off valiantly a few foul pitches, but it's not enough. 2 up and 2 down, and that brings Nick Strasser, the super frosh, to the plate for UWF. Yes, Strasser, the 4th leading hitter in the Gulf South Conference, .472 batting average as a freshman. Quite remarkable, and he won't get a chance to improve on that batting average as Ezel comes and hits him square in the elbow. So that's one way to get on base. That's one way to start a 2-out rally. Strasser sacrificing himself for the good of the team. And he puts a man on first with 2 outs for the cleanup hitter, Sean Plunkett. Plunkett, the team's 3rd leading hitter at .394. The top 4 West Florida hitters would all have higher batting average than CSU's top hitter, Brendan Collins, who's hitting .370. Just an idea. An offensive-minded ball club from Pensacola, Florida. Ezel's first pitch to Plunkett skips the dirt, ball 1. Plunkett is a cleanup man. Not as many extra base hits as you'd like to see from someone who hits 4th. 2 doubles and 1 home run. Of course, this is not much of a home run hitting team, our West Florida. Just 5 round trippers all season, despite scoring 98 runs. Ezel tries to double off Strasser, pick him off of first base. Nick, a mixed bag on the base paths. 4 stolen bases. He's been caught 3 times. Probably won't steal in this situation, but he's got a big lead over at first base, and Ezel's paying extra attention to him over there. Second throw over to first base. And now Jake will turn his attention back to Plunkett. 1-0 the count, 2 outs, top of the first inning, and a bouncer over to the left side. Eiley underhands it, throws over to second base in time. Side retired. And so Columbus, it's not a 1-2-3 inning, but it is just about as close as it comes. Plunkett bounces out with a man on first for the 3rd out. For West Florida in that first inning, no runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left aboard. Middle of the first, the score. West Florida nothing, Cougars coming up. You're watching CSU Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. And we're back for the last of the first inning. West Florida gets a man on but can't convert. And now it's Columbus State's first turn at the dish. Collins, Oliver, and McClellan leading off for CSU. First is Brendan Collins, the most efficient hitter for Columbus through the first 17 games of the year. The team's leading hitter at a .370 batting average. He also ranks top 10 in the PBC in runs, hits, doubles, total bases, and stolen bases. The CSU offense hinging on his ability to get on base as the first pitch a strike down the middle. 0-1 the count from the starting pitcher Brandon Nagum. Nagum, the starter for West Florida, the southpaw out of right there in Pensacola. And he gets Collins chasing on a fastball, 0-2 the count. Yes, Nagum came to West Florida by way of Northwest Florida State, a community college. Graduate of Pine Forest High School, where he was named the All-Star Game MVP at that high school level. And he misses outside, 1-2 the count now to Collins. Nagum into the windup, the 1-2 pitch, and a fly ball down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's trouble, and it does not stay fair. Plunkett gave chase, couldn't get to it. Collins just couldn't straighten out. That one was heading towards the corner. Would have been extra bases. And Brennan will step back in with another chance. Another 1-2 pitch. In there, a called strike three. Got him with a fastball. Inside and on the knees. One man away. The two starting pitchers trading Ks in the first frame, and that'll bring Jackson Oliver to the dish. Oliver, a third-team All-American last season on a CSU team that came within one win of making their 8th College World Series. And a fly ball, center field. Clark getting on his high horse, and he gets to it. Clark makes the catch out in center field. Oliver gave it a ride, but it ran out of gas, and that'll bring Mike McClellan to the plate. This is McClellan, by far the Cougar with the most amount of pop in his bat. And what can you say? 9 home runs through his first 17 games. All of last season, he had 13 home runs. And he'll take an off-speed pitch on the outside corner, just missing that outside corner, ball 1. Columbus State and West Florida scoreless. We're in the bottom of the first inning from Ragsdale Field. A picture-perfect night. 77 degrees in our fair city of Columbus, Georgia. As Nagum misses low and inside, ball 2. As after enduring some winter weather, winter for down here at least, all through the month of February, they are finally in true baseball playing conditions. As McClellan swings and misses, that one bounces out of the glove of Hamner, the catcher, and the count goes 2 balls and a strike. McClellan stepping in, one of the leading home run maestros in the Peach Belt Conference, and he bounces one back to the mound. Nagum has it, the underthrow tossed to Stark at first base, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Nothing across for Columbus State. They go down in order against Nagum in the first inning, and at the end of the first, we are scoreless from Ragsdale Field. You're watching Columbus State baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. No score, top of the second. West Florida sending up the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. It's Stark, Clark, and Kirkman. And the first man up is Jordan Stark, the first baseman. Stark, the native of Flowood, Mississippi, a few hours away from home. And he'll step in as the first man to face Jake Ezell in the top of the second inning. Columbus State holding down the West Florida offense for 1 inning. Can they make it 2? And a bunt attempt, skied foul by Jordan Stark. Stark this season, a .390 hitter, and that's 4th on the team. 6 doubles, which leads the squad and is tied for 6th in the Gulf South Conference. He's got a slugging percentage of .537. That's not even in the top half of his own team. And another bunt attempt. Ezell all over that one. Falls down, throws from his backside, and the throw gets away from an ill-advised throw from Jake Ezell. And Stark is going all the way to third base. A 3-base error against Ezell, and West Florida's first run of the game is a mere 90 feet away. Well, it looks like our official scorer is giving that one a base hit and then an error, and I guess I would agree with that assessment. Stark would have gotten there even if Ezell's throw had been on line. Then he takes the extra bases on the error, and it brings Ladarius Clark to bat in an RBI situation in which he has excelled all season. 14 RBIs, 2 home runs for Clark, leading the team in both categories. West Florida looking to break the ice in this ball game. First pitch from Jake Ezell, fastball, missed high, ball 1. Clark hitting .308. It would be a good average on any other team, but for a team that's batting .325 overall, it's under the radar. And a half swing, bounces one over to Blake Edwards. Edwards rifles over to first base in time for the out. Stark staying in his place. So Clark fails to come through in the RBI spot. 1 man away, and he'll bring Nick Kirkman up to try and bring Stark home. Kirkman, the designated hitter for the Argos. A freshman out of Ovidio, Florida. Another one of these young West Florida players getting heavy playing time along with Nick Strasser. And the first pitch, fastball, high and outside, ball 1. Kirkman, .364 batting average on the season, 3 doubles, 8 RBIs, looking for a 9th right here. And Jake Ezell's looking to put out the fire that he started with his bad throw that sent Stark all the way to third base. And a ground ball again over to Edwards, this one harder that time. And a long throw over to first base in time for the second out. And so West Florida, a pair of bouncers over to third base with a man on. They can't do that a third time. Jimmy Redovian is going to have to poke one out of the infield in order to bring the man home. Redovian, the starting third baseman for the Argonauts. Wearing that number 5, just like Brooks Robinson, the old third baseman from the Orioles. And he'll look to bring Stark in from third base. First pitch from Ezell, low one inside, ball 1. Redovian on the season, hitting .216, just above the Mendoza line. Has started every game for the Argonauts. One of those defensive-minded players who you keep in the game exclusively for his defense. And a ground ball over to shortstop, and Eiley boots it. Can he recover in time? No, he cannot. A costly error by Ryan Eiley. It brings Stark home, and the Argonauts are on the board with an unearned run. And so defense eating Columbus State alive in their own backyard. Ezel was almost out of the jam, but a bouncer to short that Ryan Eiley could not handle allows Radovian to scoot in there safely and start to come home with the first run. It's 1-0. West Florida on top of Columbus State. 2 outs, top of the second inning. And Kyle Hamner, the catcher, at the plate. Fastball missed high, ball 1. Hamner on the season, .289 batting average. Not much of an extra base hit expert, just 1 double and nothing else on the year. 7 RBIs for the man behind the plate. And he fouls one back for strike 1. The count goes even. Radovian over at first base. Not much of a threat to steal. 1 attempt this season and he was ousted. Now Ezel takes his sign from Dustin Avery at the catcher. Sets up, delivers from the stretch. And a curveball that sails inside and doesn't come back into the zone. Ball 2. Hamner, the 9th batter for West Florida. They want to get more men on, so Chase Kiefer in the top of the order can come up and try and drive him home. The 2-1 pitch and a fly ball deep left field. This one drifting foul. Out of the stadium into the parking lot, but not in line with that big yellow pole out there. And the count instead goes to 2-2. Ezel is ready. A short lead from Radovian over at first base. And the pitch. Fastball just missing outside. Tried to catch that outside corner, and the umpire's not buying it. And so the count goes full, 3-2. Radovian will take off with 2 outs and a full count. Anything in the gap should score him and give West Florida a second run. Ezel is ready. And here's the payoff pitch. Low, ball 4. That one just below the knees. And he'll put a second man on for West Florida. So Ezel, 3 ground balls, 4 ground balls really. And he was almost out of it, but 2 errors. And now a walk have put men on first and second with 2 out for the top of the West Florida order. Chase Kiefer of the Argonauts coming in with 2 on and 2 out. Now Kiefer struck out swinging to lead off the game. And he'll look for an improvement this time around. Ezel with another chance to get out of the jam. This one a ground ball over to Eiley at shortstop. The flip over to second in time and without incident for the 3rd out of the inning. But not before the Argonauts get on the board thanks to some help from the Columbus infield. For the Argos in the top of the 2nd, 1 run on 1 hit, 2 errors, 2 left aboard. Middle of the 2nd, the score, West Florida 1, Columbus State nothing. You're watching CSU Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Brandon Nagum finds himself with a 1-0 advantage on the mound for West Florida. And he'll step back to the rubber to face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Columbus State in the last of the second. Averett, Miller, and Manos, a trio of righties coming up to get Columbus State even. First is Dustin Averett, the starting catcher for the Cougars. Averett struggled mightily through the first month of the season, was batting sub 200 coming into last weekend. Now he's up to 216 after a big couple games against North Georgia, and he pops this one foul and out of play. The count goes 0-1. Yes, Averett home runs in both ends of a doubleheader on Saturday against North Georgia. The Cougars lost both of those games, but he played his way back into the starting lineup, at least for the moment. And the 0-1 pitch. Fastball missed inside for ball 1. Averett last season, one of the most consistent hitters for the boys in the white uniforms right now. 319, 10 home runs, and 62 RBIs led the team. And he'll take a fastball on the outside corner. The count goes 1-2. Brandon Nagum, the midweek starter for the Argos. And he gets Averett chasing a fastball for strike 3. Nagum, he's pitching in the midweek. He's pitching more like a top-of-the-line starter for West Florida. How about this? Coming into this game, an ERA of .35. Far and away tops in the Gulf South Conference. He's 3-0 in 4 starts with an ERA of .35, and he gets Blaine Miller swinging at a fastball for strike 1. Nagum, the southpaw from Pensacola, doing phenomenal work for the Argos in the early part of the 2015 season. And Miller swings at an off-speed pitch, misses for strike 2. Blaine Miller has the potential to tie it with one swing. He's hit 3 round trippers this season. As a part-time player, he's already 5th in the PBC in home runs, and he flies this one out to the warning track in right center. Kiefer gets under it and makes the catch for out number 2. And 5 up and 5 down for the Cougars. The 6th man, Kevin Manos, will look to break that stretch. Kevin Manos, the opening day starter out in left field for Columbus State. He and Matt Nettles have platooned out in left field. Manos, the righty, getting the start against the left-handed Nagum, who finds the low and inside corner for called strike 1. Kevin on the season hitting just .214, a double and a home run, and 5 RBIs. And a bouncer over to third base. Radovian pounces on it, and he'll have no play. Jimmy Radovian had some trouble with the hard ground ball from Kevin Manos. And that'll be the first base hit of the game for CSU. Radovian limping around out there in third base, clutching that right hamstring. And he'll set up for the next batter. It's Carson Bowers with Manos on first and 2 down. Manos not really a threat to steal. He hasn't attempted one all season. And Carson Bowers at the plate, the team's second leading hitter with a 344 average. 244 would not be good for a team's second leading hitter. As Bowers takes it to feet for ball 1. Yes, Carson 344. Tied for third in the PBC with his own teammate Brendan Collins with 7 doubles. Has the ability to find the gaps, and he takes high for ball 2. Nagum missing low and missing high with his first 2 pitches, and a hitter's count coming up to Carson Bowers. Argonauts 1, Cougars nothing. We're in the last of the second inning, 1 on, 2 outs. Nagem is ready. The 2-0 pitch. Off speed. That one's in the dirt again for ball 3. Brendan paying extra care to Carson Bowers. A threat to find the gaps and a threat to go long as well. 2 home runs on the season. They came on back-to-back days against Young Harris about 10 days ago and 11 days ago. He'll almost certainly take this 3-0 pitch. And Nagem finds the outside corner for called strike 1. So now Carson will step back in there with the intent to swing at anything juicy. Manos a medium lead off of first base. The 3-1 pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Plunkett turns around and takes a look. Say goodbye. Home run. Well, there's that long ball potential. Carson Bowers goes round and round and round. And Columbus State takes the lead for the first time today. It is 2-1 for the good guys. Well, that should send Nagem's ERA skyrocketing. It might even be approaching 1 now. So CSU retakes the lead. Or rather, takes the lead for the first time. You can't retake what you never had. And it brings Blake Edwards to the plate. And he takes a fastball on the outside corner for called strike 1. Edwards, the 8th hitter in the order for CSU. .328 on the season. No home runs yet, but 6 doubles. And he takes to the knees for strike 2. CSU back in this game. A little dribbler over to third base by Kevin Manos, followed by the home run by Carson Bowers. And now the 0-2 pitch from Nagem, and a line drive straight into the glove of Green at shortstop for the out. But not before CSU gets back in this ball game, taking the lead on the Carson Bowers home run. For Columbus State, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, none left on. And to the second, the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Top of the 3rd inning from Ragsdale Field. Jake Ezell takes the mound suddenly with a lead. Bowers gave him a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd. And CSU holds a 2-1 lead as Ezell faces the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for West Florida. It's Alex Green, Nick Strasser, and Sean Plunkett. Green, who made that snag over at short to end the last half inning, steps up to the plate for the 2nd time against Ezell. Strikeout victim back in the 1st. First pitch, a fastball, low and inside, ball 1. Green, the Haggerty High School graduate out of Orlando, Florida. A 3-year starter for the boys in green. He flies one out to center field. Collins locating, getting under it, makes the one-handed catch. Please use 2 hands, sir, for the first out of the inning. Now Nick Strasser, the .472 hitter coming into this game. Hard to contain him, but the way to do it is to make him bat with nobody on base, which he has done twice now in this game. First at bat, took an Ezell fastball square in the left elbow, but went no further than first base. Now Jake will look for more success this time around. And his fastball catches the outside corner, a called strike one. Strasser, so effective in that Gulf South Conference, is just a freshman. They've had 5 Freshman of the Week awards this season. He's won the last 3. A phenomenal addition to Mike Jeffcoat's squad. 1-1 the count now as Ezel misses low. And Strasser pops one up foul. McClellan going under it, makes the catch in foul territory, 2 outs. Now Sean Plunkett, who had a front row seat to Carson Bauer's home run in the last half inning out in left field, looking to provide some fireworks of his own with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 3rd. First pitch from Ezel, fastball on the outside corner, a called strike one. Plunkett in the first inning hit with a man on base, but bounced into a fielder's choice to end the inning. Now the 0-1 pitch from Ezel, another fastball, this one missing inside, ball 1. CSU 2, UWF 1. We're in the top of the 3rd from Ragsdale Field. Will DeBoer with you on Cougar Sports TV. Columbus State 10-7, looking to get off the schneid after their sweep at the hands of North Georgia as Plunkett pokes one into right field. Oliver coming over for it. He won't get to it in time. A Texas League base hit for Sean Plunkett with 2 outs, and it starts another rally for West Florida. That 1-2-3 inning still elusive for Ezel. He almost had it in the first, but hit Strasser in the elbow, and now he will face Jordan Stark with 2 outs and Plunkett on first base. Sean, 2 stolen bases in 2 attempts this season. He's got a big lead off of first. As Stark steps in, the big first baseman for the Argos. Ezel, first pitch from the stretch. And he misses upstairs, ball 1. Stark, again from Flowood, Mississippi, graduate of Northwest Rankin High School, came to the Argos by way of Jones County Community College. Now the 1-0, a bouncer in the dirt, ball 2. Ezel having trouble finding the plate the first couple pitches against Stark. And he faced similar trouble with a man on first and 2 outs in the last half inning when he walked Kyle Hamner to put 2 on, and he needed a big out, and he got that ground ball to get out of the jam. But now he looks to avoid a jam and looks to keep the Cougars 2-1 lead. As Plunkett takes off for second base, he'll get there without a throw. A great jump for Sean Plunkett. He was halfway to second before the ball even left Ezel's arm. Stark steps back in, a 3-0 count. Now he bats with a man in scoring position. Plunkett after his 3rd swiped bag of the season. Jake is ready, looks back at second, and the 3-0 pitch. Fastball down the heart, a called strike 1. Stark taking all the way. Now normal at-bat circumstances resuming for this 3-1 pitch. West Florida down a run, but a base hit away from drawing even again. Ezel from the stretch, the 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. Another 2-out walk from Jake Ezel. He's given away 2 free passes, and he's hit a guy in this ball game. And that puts 2 men on with 2 outs for the 2nd straight inning, and the dangerous power threat from West Florida, Ladarius Clark, coming to the dish. Clark had that half swing ground out to third in the second inning. But now he comes up in an RBI spot. This is his forte. He's got 14 on the season. That leads the Argos. Ezel in real trouble. Here's the first pitch and a fly ball. Fouled it back over our heads in the press box. 0-1. Cougars up 2-1, but the Argonauts threatening in the top of the third. Clark, who goes all for nothing at the plate. A slugging percentage of .500, but he also strikes out quite often. 19 Ks, that's second in the Gulf South Conference. Ezel playing with fire. The 0-1 pitch popped him up, foul territory. Averett going back for it, and he watches it go into the metal stands. A clank and a souvenir for some fans after they just all scatter. Come on, people, you can catch that. It's just a baseball falling from the sky. And Ezel ahead in the count, 0-2. Plunkett on second, Stark on first, 2 outs. Ladarius Clark looking to convert. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball, high and outside, ball 1. Ezel tried to get Clark fishing. And Clark not biting that time. Count goes to 1-2. Ezel looks in for his sign from Averett. He gets it and he's ready. From the stretch, the 1-2 pitch. And that one squirts through the wickets of Averett. Both runners will advance a passed ball. And now all of a sudden, West Florida with a base hit can retake the lead. That one in the dirt, but Averett got his mitt on it before it went through his legs. The count goes back even at 2-2. But now Plunkett 90 feet from home. He represents the tying run, and the go-ahead run is on second base in the form of Jordan Stark. Ezel looking to dig deep. He's got a 2-1 lead for now. And the 2-2 pitch. Low, outside, ball 3. And so Clark, who was down 0-2 in the count, fighting back. It goes full, 3-2. Biggest pitch of the game coming right here. Biggest pitch of the moment. Ezel ready. And the payoff pitch. Check swing foul. That one headed towards the first base dugout. Right in the hands of an Argonaut bench player. Clark stays alive. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming. Plunkett on third. 2 outs. Columbus State holding a 2-1 lead. West Florida looking to recapture the lead. They led 1-0 in the middle of the second. 3-2 pitch coming. And another foul. Clark just gets a piece of it. Sends a bouncer back to the screen. CSU's backup catcher Hunter Bowling comes over to retrieve it. And another ball that comes his way. Bowling, a popular collection target over there on the third base dugout for CSU. Clark is ready, so is Ezel. This is pitch number 8. And here it comes. Popped him up, left side, this one drifting foul. Edwards interfered with by the runner, recovers in time, falls on his backside, makes the catch in foul territory for the 3rd out of the inning. So Columbus State gets into some trouble on the base paths in more ways than one, but they get out of the jam and Ezel keeps the lead. For West Florida, no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left on base. Middle of the 3rd, the score, CSU 2, West Florida 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Now we're back for the last of the third here on Cougar Sports TV. Eiley, Collins, and Oliver coming up for CSU. First is Ryan Eiley, the 9th batter, shortstop for CSU. Eiley, a .244 hitter on the season, more known for his glove than his bat. And his glove committing some grave errors back in the second inning. Shows bunt, lets it go for ball 1. Eiley steps back in to face Brandon Nagin, and he swings through a fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Nagin bringing the heat. He brought it in the first couple frames, but Carson Bowers caught the heat and sent it into the left field stands to give CSU the lead, as Eiley takes on the inside corner a called strike 2. Nagin ahead in the count, looking for his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Into the windup with the 1-2 pitch, swung on and foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. So right on cue, Eiley goes down on strikes. 3rd K for Nagin, and it brings the top of the order back up for CSU. It's Brendan Collins coming to bat, a strikeout victim back in the first inning. That one was looking. And Nagin with the first pitch, check swing, holds up, but that ball catches the inside corner for called strike 1. Now the 0-1 pitch, and a fly ball, rather popped him up. Foul territory. Radovian comes over to grab it for out number 2. Well, CSU in danger of going down 1-2-3. Jackson Oliver looks to break the trend. Sent a long fly ball out to center field that Clark chased down back in the first inning. And now Oliver, the All-American, will look to start a rally in the last of the 3rd. Moves his shoulder out of the way of Nagin's fastball, ball 1. CSU looking to get off the schneid after losing their first conference series at home in 3 years to North Georgia this past weekend, as Oliver swings through an off-speed pitch for strike 1. That's the last time CSU lost a home series was back in February of 2012. Drag bunt by Jackson Oliver. Nagin will have to scamper over for it, and it dies in the grass, and it stays fair. A textbook drag bunt from Jackson Oliver. A bit of strategy by Greg Appleton's bunch with 2 outs. Looking for any way to get a man on and bring Mike McClellan to the plate. And they do so. Oliver gets on base. Stolen 1 base on the season. You wouldn't expect him to run, though, with the leading home run slugger of the entire PBC at the plate. Mike McClellan, stirrups and all, and he'll have to wait for his first pitch as Oliver gets some attention over at first base. And the stats for you. McClellan last season had 13 home runs. He's got 9 already this year. Looking to make it double digits. He takes a fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Mike, a member of the all-region tournament team last season when Columbus State came within a game of upsetting Lander and advancing to the College World Series. Now the 0-1 pitch, fastball. If you call it letter high, that one dotted the I's, ball 1. McClellan with a dramatic walk-off home run against USC Aiken in the opener of that Southeast Regional. A man who can come up big when the time is right. And now he'll look to come up big right here and extend Columbus State's lead. 2-1 CSU out in front. Last of the 3rd inning. Oliver on first and 2 men down. The 1-1, check swing. McClellan lays off. Umpire confirms it. And the count goes 2 balls and a strike. McClellan, as far as I can see, the only CSU player who wears his pants the way baseball pants have been traditionally worn, with the high socks and stirrups. Well done, sir. Well done. And he takes that one at the calves for the 3rd ball of the at-bat. 3-1 the count now. Nagum nibbling around the edges of Mike McClellan. He drives one out into center field. Clark will get under it. A little too excited. Anything up in the air has the chance for McClellan, but not that time. Clark gets under to make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. And Columbus State does not convert. For CSU, no runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 left aboard, and to the 3rd the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Third of the way through the game, we head to the top of the 4th inning. For West Florida, the bottom of the order, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up. As we approach 7 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone, the twilight here in Columbus, Georgia. That mix of dying daylight and the dark blue of night. Quite a sight to behold here at Ragsdale Field. A beautiful night for baseball. It was 77 degrees at the first pitch, like a real summer day. As Jake Ezel's first pitch is dotting the I's for ball 1 against Nick Kirkman. Kirkman grounded out to 3rd base with a man on 3rd back in the 2nd inning. And faced the 1-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Ezel into the windup now with a 1-1 pitch. That fastball below the knees, 2-1. Ezel's faced trouble in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Left 2 men on each time. The 3rd time around, they got all the way to 2nd and 3rd as Kirkman slices one foul. This one heading out towards the right field bullpen, unoccupied for the moment. And the count goes to 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch from Ezel. Bouncer, foul. That one might have gotten a piece of Kirkman's body, and he'll step in to do it again. Argonauts looking to start a rally in the 4th inning. That'll go a long way if they can get Kirkman on base. Now the 2-2 pitch. Low, ball 3. Payoff pitch coming from Ezel. Kirkman will take a walk if he gets it, but he'll look for the base hit. And he grounds one foul over to his 3rd base coach, who swats it down but just can't get a hold of it. And that's why you have gloves nowadays, I guess. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Kirkman in a duel with Ezel. And here comes the 8th pitch. Bouncer over to short. Eiley has it. Without incident, rifles over to first base for the out. And so Eiley, a mixed bag over at short today. 2 for 3 fielding. Had an error that led to a run back in the second. But ended a couple innings on some fielder's choices. So make it he was 3 for 4 from shortstop. And here's Jimmy Radovian coming to the dish. The beneficiary of the Eiley error back in the second inning. Reached and allowed Jordan Stark to score the only run for the Argonauts. Fouls the first one back to the screen, 0-1. Argonauts down 2-1. They scored 1 in the top of the second. CSU responded with 2 in the bottom of the second on the 2-run homer by Carson Bowers. Ezel with the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, low and inside, ball 1. West Florida coming into this game 11-5 in a crowded Gulf South Conference filled with much offense. The 6th leading scoring team out of 10 in the GSC, and they score over 6 runs a game. Bouncer foul. The count goes to 1-2. Ezel keeping them at bay for the moment, limiting them to just 1 run on 2 hits through nearly 4 full innings. Cougars committing a pair of errors and then allowing a pass ball back in the third. For Columbus State, 2 runs on 3 hits. They have not benefited from any West Florida errors. Into the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Bouncer at the plate for ball 2. So Ezel, after firing back-to-back strikeouts to start this game, no Ks on his stat sheet since. And he struggled to find the plate at times. A lot of deep counts, a lot of duels heading up and towards the 10 pitch mark. Now the 2-2. Fastball in there, a called strike 3. Radovian frozen. And right on cue, Ezel with his 3rd strikeout of the game. It puts 2 men away. So now Kyle Hamner, starting catcher for West Florida, walked back in the second inning. And he'll look to start a rally and bring the top of the order up for the Argonauts. Hamner, the pride of Edgewater High School in Orlando, a 400 hitter as a senior for that school as he takes a fastball for ball 1. Tasted success with Edgewater, winning a district championship that season. He hit 400. 0-1 pitch and a dribbler over to shortstop. Ryan Eiley has it, and he seems to be back in his groove. That's out number 3. First 1-2-3 inning for Ezel on the mound. Argos go down in order. Middle of the 4th, the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. We head to the last of the 4th. Cougars up 2-1. Let's take our first look around the Peach Belt slate for the day. Couple scores final. Armstrong beating Claflin 12-2 on the road. Georgia College at home withstanding a challenge from North Greenville, winning 7-3. Montevallo over Tuskegee 5-4 in just 8 innings. Game still going on. A real barn burner in Tusculum. Young Harris up against their hosts from Tusculum 10-9 in the 7th inning. And a doubleheader between Tuskegee and Montevallo underway. Montevallo leading 3-0 in the top of the second of that second game. Also, Lander hosting Newberry. Don't have stats from this game. As we turn our attention back to the action at hand, Averett, Miller, and Manos due up in the last of the fourth for Columbus State. Dustin Averett takes inside for ball one. Dusty struck out swinging his first time up. Nagum looking for similar success this time around. The 1-0 pitch, low and outside, ball one, ball two. Now a 2-0, swung on and missed, got him with the off-speed pitch for strike one, and the count goes 2 balls and a strike. Averett coming into this game a .216 hitter, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, got both of those home runs in the weekend series against North Georgia, and he takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. So Nagum falling behind the count, coming right back to bring it even. Averett looking to fight it off, and he cannot. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Nagum challenging him right down the middle and winning. Second strikeout for Dustin Averett, halfway towards a golden sombrero. And now Blaine Miller coming to bat, the designated hitter for CSU. Just a part-time player coming into the season, but he has played his way into more time by hitting .520 through his first 7 games. And he takes a fastball outside for ball one. Yes, Blaine Miller, 3 home runs. Twice he went back-to-back with Mike McClellan. Another time he helped a CSU rally that just came short in the last game against North Georgia as he swings through a slider for strike 1. Blaine Miller, a senior out of Smith Station, Alabama, nearby. Went to Central Alabama Community College, and he slices one into left field, stays up just in time for Plunkett, catches it at his shoestrings for out number 2. So Miller with nice contact, coming up just a little strong. And it puts 2 men away for Kevin Manos. Manos laced a ground ball over to third base that Radovian couldn't quite handle for a 2-out single, which led to Carson Bauer's 2-run home run. Nagum missing outside for ball one. Manos stepping back in. The MVP of Sequoia High School in Woodstock, Georgia, his senior year at that institution, and he flies one into right center field. Going back on it is Clark. At the warning track, makes the catch, side retired. Well, CSU's had a couple of those in this game. Giving it rides, but running out of juice right at the end. Cougars go down in order. Into the fourth, the score, Columbus State 2, West Florida 1. You're watching CSU Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Cougars holding a 2-1 lead over the Argonauts. Will DeBoer with you live on Cougar Sports TV. And let's take our first look at NationalPastime.com for your daily dosage of On This Day in Baseball History. Today in baseball, March 3rd, 1953, citing territorial privilege due to the location of their minor league club, Lou Perini blocks the Browns' attempts to move to Milwaukee from St. Louis. 15 days later, not weeks, days later, the Braves owner Perini will move his own major league club from Boston to Milwaukee. Lou Perini. Didn't he play sax in the Blues Brothers band? Oh wait, no, that was Lou Marini. Close cousins, perhaps. One a maestro at moves, the other one a saxophone player. Top of the fifth inning, the top of the order coming up for the Argonauts. It's Kiefer, Green, and Strasser as Kiefer shows bunt and takes a strike, 0-1. Third time around the order for West Florida. For the most part, not able to solve the mystery of Ezel, their only run coming on a pair of errors. 0-1 pitch, Ezel off speed, missed outside for ball one. Just going back to that move, the Boston Braves to Milwaukee, and of course now in Atlanta. They've been there since 1968. 1-1 pitch skips the dirt for ball two. The Braves have won one World Series in every city they've been in. Back in Boston, the Miracle Braves of 1914, last place with 6 weeks to go. Ended up winning the National League and winning the World Series. Then back in 1957, their fifth season in Milwaukee. Fouled back to the screen for strike two. That great team of Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, Lou Burdett tossing the two-hit shutout in Game 7 of the World Series in Yankee Stadium, no less. One of the rare times during that decade that a team not from New York made the World Series. And a hard ground ball, that one drifting just foul down the first base line. Count stays 2-2. And the Braves packed up and moved to Atlanta, their present home, after the 1967 season. And they've been there ever since, winning the World Series back in '95, in the midst of that 14 straight years when they won a division title. Now on the move to Cobb County after a couple of final seasons in Turner Field. They might as well change their name to the Cobb County Braves. Maybe they'll be able to win their fourth World Series in as many stops. 2-2 pitch coming to Chase Kiefer. Ezel's offering, low and outside, getting away from the catcher Averett. The count goes full. Ezel, he's had them on the ropes just about all night, but doesn't have that put-away pitch. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming, and a little dribbler back to the mound, off the end of the bat. And Kiefer stops dead in his tracks about halfway towards the baseline. And he's wandering closer to his bat. He's not going back to the dugout, and now he is. He must have thought that that ball came inside and hit his hands. He hit it off of the handle of his bat. Instead, he'll walk back to the dugout in defeat, grounding out for the first out of the inning. And that brings Alex Green to the plate. Green 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a fly out to center. First pitch from Ezel, swung on and fouled back out of the mitt of Averett, and settling just in the infield for strike one. Columbus State 2, West Florida 1. We've played about an hour and 10 minutes worth of baseball on a Tuesday night from Ragsdale Field. Relatively fast-moving game, and of course now as I say that, it's about to slow down. It just works that way, especially when these two teams get together. Some recent meetings between CSU and West Florida, high-scoring affairs. Last season, down at Jim Spooner Field in Pensacola, the Argos knocked off the Cougars 8-2. Or 8-6 rather. Where did 8-2 come from? Well, 2's at the plate. Seeing weird numbers all over the place here. Anyway, 8-6. West Florida scoring 5 runs in the bottom of the second inning of that game to put it away. CSU fighting back, but just can't get back in time. Now a 1-1 count coming to Alex Green. Greeny, the junior shortstop, takes a 1-1 pitch inside for ball 2. West Florida, one of the more successful teams in this region in recent years, ever since Mike Jeffcoat took over from Jim Spooner, the 23-year head coach of the Argonauts. As a foul back towards the third base dugout, 2-2 is the count. College World Series champions back in 2011 when they went 52-9. Their only College World Series appearance to date, but they have made the NCAA regionals 5 times in the Jeffcoat era, which is now in its 9th season. The 2-2 pitch from Ezel. Low, across the dirt, ball 3. So again, Jake Ezel using pitch after pitch, tiring himself out. We're already in the 5th inning, and he's already got a high pitch count. Nobody warming up in the bullpen yet for Columbus State. Greg Appleton will stick with his midweek starter, even with CSU having a weekend off. 3-2 pitch, outside, ball 4. That one just off the plate. Green taking an awful risk by letting that one go by, but it pays off. First base runner of the inning for West Florida. It comes on the 3rd walk of the game for Jake Ezel, and it'll bring dangerous Nick Strasser to the plate. Strasser, the top freshman out of Orlando, Florida, out of Dr. Phillips High School. First pitch, low and outside, ball 1. Ezel tiring. Strasser, 2012 district champions over at Dr. Phillips, a Gold Glove laureate and a Senior Legacy Award winner. At his high school, 2nd all-time for single season stolen bases. He had 26 swiped bags in his senior season, and he was named to the Spring Break Slam All-Tournament team. Spring break coming up for both sides, and they're looking to slam across a few wins. Digging deep for an analogy there. Sometimes you come up with gold, sometimes you come up with fool's gold. 1-0 is the count. West Florida down 2-1 for now. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Green is on first with 1 out. Big lead for Alex over at first base. The 1-0 pitch fouled back over the trees, just starting to sprout some buds, some new leaves, as we play our first game in March of this 2015 season. Columbus State hoping March goes better than February did. They went just 10-7 for a team that coming into this year was expected that they might not even lose 7 games all year. 1-1 pitch coming from Ezel. The stretch in the pitch and a ground ball foul down the third base line. The count goes to 1-2. CSU coming 1 game short of the College World Series last season against a Lander team that went 51-7. So CSU is looking to have a season the same way Lander did last year, but they're going to have to really turn on the Jets in order to get back into that form in the last few months of the regular season. As Strasser stays alive, fouls one back towards the third base dugout. The count stays at 1-2. Green over on first base. Not much of a threat to run. He's attempted 2 stolen bases all season, and he was caught both times. Not the slickest of pickpockets is Alex Green. It's those green jerseys that just stand out. You're able to spot someone from a mile away. 1-2 pitch coming. Outside, ball 2. Gets away from Averett, but he's able to chase it down before Alex breaks for second. Count goes back even at 2-2. 1 down, top of the 5th inning. West Florida's bats contain for now. They can break out at any time, especially this man, Nick Strasser. 4 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 12 RBIs. An OPS, that's slugging plus on-base percentage, an OPS in the 1200s. Translation, if you have it in the 800s, you're doing pretty darn well. And he's 800 and a half. First time today, Nick Strasser has hit with men on base. First time up, he drew a 2-out hit by pitch. Second time up, fouled out to the first baseman. Here's the 2-2 from Ezel, and a ground ball, hard one, foul, nearly taking out the third base coach. Doing his little dance there, Shane Gerke. And he gets out of the way, and we'll do it again from the plate. 2-1 CSU. They've got a man on first base, does West Florida, but the Cougars not in trouble just yet. They'll be in trouble if they can't get Nick Strasser out. 7th pitch to the at-bat coming to Strasser. Here's the offering from Ezel. And a ground ball over to second base. Bowers runs a long way for it. His only play is to first base, and he gets Strasser. Productive out for the Argonauts. Now Strasser's ground ball takes Bowers' momentum away from a potential double play. He puts Green on second base. Man in scoring position with 2 outs. For the cleanup man, Sean Plunkett. Plunkett a ground out to short. A single and a stolen base in this game. 1 home run on the season, 7 RBIs. He's only one of 4 Argonauts to hit at least a round tripper in this season, with only Ladarius Clark hitting multiple. First pitch from Ezel, low and, well, still just low. Ball 1. Plunkett, that bright yellow bat. One of the things you see more of in college, the metal bats. You see all these strange patterns that you would not see at the major league level. Here's the 1-0 from Ezel, and he gets him fishing on a slider low for strike 1. Ezel in trouble. 3 of his 4 innings, he left men on base in the first 3, went 1-2-3 through the 4th inning, and now he's got Alex Green on second base. Medium lead, nobody keeping him aboard with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch coming to Plunkett. Ezel looks twice back at the bag, and a grounder over to first base. McClellan scoops it up after having it scoop off the glove, recovers in time to step on the bag for the out. And so Ezel strands another man in scoring position. West Florida coming up short on another chance to tie this game, as this game goes official. An official ball game in the books. For West Florida, no runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left aboard. Middle of the 5th, the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. We head to the last of the fifth. Cougars holding a 2-1 lead over the Argonauts, sending Bowers, Edwards, and Eiley, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, to the plate. First is Carson Bowers, whose swing back in the second inning gave the Cougars their only runs of this game, a 2-run homer into the left field pavilion. For Bowers, it was his third round tripper of the season. He had 5 all of last year, so he's on a good pace to surpass those numbers. He takes low for ball 1 from Nagum. Carson, a tendency to come up big in big moments. Made the All-Southeast Region Tournament team last season. Takes for ball 2. And against Catawba in the regional semifinals, hit a ground ball that struck a pebble and bounced over the shortstop's head, turning what would have been a game and season-ending out into a game-winning 2-run single. Quite the change of fate for Bowers. He'll take a 3-0 fastball down the heart for strike 1. Carson came into this game hitting .344. That's in line with his average from last year. He hit .344 on the season in 2014, and that number will go down slightly as Nagum is able to snag the hard ground ball back to the mound. And underhand toss one over to first. Now Blake Edwards coming up to bat. Edwards lined out to short to end the second inning. Edwards more known for his glove than his bat. A National Gold Glove winner last season. And he takes high and outside for ball 1. But he's no slouch with the stick either. .328 hitter coming into the game with 6 doubles and 9 RBIs. Nagum with the windup, the 1-0 pitch, and a blooper into right field. Kiefer going under for it, makes the two-handed catch, and there's 2 men away. More quick innings for the Cougars. They went down in order in the first, in the third, and barring a base hit or anything else from Ryan Eiley, they'll go down 1, 2, 3 in the fifth. First comes Ryan Eiley, the Aussie shortstop, whose walk-up music, and if you can hear it, is in fact Down Under by Men at Work. First pitch from Nagum, and a hard ground ball up the middle, a base hit. So Ryan Eiley going down under and down up the middle for his first hit of the game. First hit since the third inning when Jackson Oliver singled for CSU, and the Cougars have themselves a 2-out rally at hand. More importantly, it gets the top of the order back up for CSU. Here's Brendan Collins, a strikeout victim in the first, and he fouled out to third in the third inning. Eiley, a medium lead off of first base. Nagum's first pitch off speed, sails down the heart for strike 1. Columbus stayed up 2-1 the last of the fifth inning. Just 4 hits on the board for the Cougars, but just 2 hits for the high-flying West Florida Argonauts. Nagum's 0-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. Collins fooled by the slider, comes up nothing but air on the whiff, and the count goes 0-2. Eiley, no stolen base attempts on the season. He probably won't do so with the first batter of the order coming up for CSU, as Collins takes the fastball way inside for ball 1. Had to duck his knees out of the way, or else he'd be singing soprano for quite some time. One and 2 is the count from Nagum. Just one bad pitch in this game. It was a fastball that Bowers got a hold of in the second inning, and it is the difference in this 2-1 game. 1-2 pitch, low and outside, ball 1, the throw back to first base. Eiley diving just in time to the bag. Hamner from behind the plate nearly picked him off. Now Collins will get a chance. 2-2 the count for the .370 hitter, up 30 points from his batting average last season. It was .340. 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. Got him with the off speeder, and that will retire the side. So Columbus State doesn't go down in order, but they can't convert with a man on and 2 outs. For CSU, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard, and to the 5th the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Top of the 6th from Ragsdale Field. Will DeBoer with you on Cougar Sports TV. An hour and a half in the books. And CSU up through 5 innings, 2-1. Let's take one more look at NationalPastime.com on this day in baseball history, March 3rd, 1969. Washington Post reporting that the Global League failed to reach an agreement for any television network. The lack of a TV deal appears to have derailed the reality of a proposed 3rd major league coming into existence. As everybody knows, the National League and the American League have been around for over a century now. The American League celebrated its 100th birthday way back in 2001. I've still got a Cleveland Indians baseball commemorating the occasion. Picked up in a McDonald's just outside of Cleveland. Don't ask me how I got there, but you can, and it was a family vacation. In any case, those 2 major leagues have been around for a long time. There have been a handful of attempts to start a 3rd major league, as the first pitch to Jordan Stark down the heart of the plate for called strike 1. There was the Federal League back in the 19-teens, as Averett comes out for a talk with Ezel. They're trying to get their signs straight. Federal League only lasted 1914 and 1915. Most significant legacy of that league is Wrigley Field, originally the home of the Chicago Whales. The Cubs moved in after the Federal League folded. Now Ezel with his 0-1 pitch to Stark, and a liner into right field, stays up in time. Oliver barely has to move to get under it and make the catch 1 man away. And he'll bring Ladarius Clark to the plate. 0 for 2 today, a ground out and a pop out in foul ground, both to 3rd base. So anyway, about 45 years later, there was the Metropolitan League that never even played a game but attempted to become a 3rd major league. The brainchild of William Shea and some benefactors from New York City, who after watching the New York Giants and Brooklyn Dodgers both leave for the West Coast, wanted to bring a 2nd or even a 3rd baseball team back to New York City, as Clark takes a fastball inside for ball 1. But the Metropolitan League was derailed when the National League decided to expand. 1-0 pitch, Ezel missing low, 2-0 the count. Yes, both the National and American Leagues decided to expand from their old 8 teams, adding 2 more that would begin play in 61 and 62, respectively, in the American and National Leagues. And one of those National League teams was the team that would become the New York Mets, as Ladarius Clark swinging through the 2-0 pitch, strike one. Mets, of course, short for Metropolitans, in tribute to that failed Metropolitan League. And once Shea and company got that team, as Clark lines one, nearly taking Ezel's head off into center field for the base hit. First man aboard in the inning for West Florida, and the first hit for the Argos since way back in the third. It'll bring Nick Kirkman to the plate. 0 for 2 today, a pair of groundouts, both to the left side. But once New York got its National League Baseball back again, they did not feel the need to go ahead with the third league, so the Metropolitan League folded before even playing a game. And then there was the Global League. Back in 1969, and the 100th anniversary of organized professional baseball. Tried to get itself started, but without a TV deal, it was doomed to fail. Bouncer over to short. This could be two, and it is. 6-4 to 3. Double play, ending the inning. Eiley making up for his early error with a pair of very nice defensive plays. And he ends the inning that time. For West Florida, no runs on one hit, no errors, none left aboard. Middle of the sixth, the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Bottom of the sixth inning, Oliver, McClellan, and Averett, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for Columbus State. Up 2-1, but looking for some insurance against a West Florida team that is 5 runs under its average right now. First is Jackson Oliver. He has 1 of 4 Columbus State hits on the day. And he fouls back the first pitch from Nagum, 0-1 the count. Yes, Oliver with a brilliant drag bunt that dribbled on the first base line and died in the grass just fair. Nagum watched it die, and nothing he could do about that one. As Oliver flies this one out into shallow left field, Plunkett calling off Green makes the two-handed catch, 1 man away. And now Mike McClellan coming to bat. Big Mike, a comebacker to the mound, and a fly out to medium deep center field back in the third inning. A lot of stuff will go out in this ballpark if it hits the right jet stream, and McClellan didn't hit the jet stream in the third inning, and he certainly doesn't this time around. Swinging at the first pitch, a hard grounder over to short. No trouble for Green. 3 pitches and 2 outs for Columbus State in this sixth inning. And now here's Dustin Averett. Played his way back into the starting lineup today after a strong Saturday doubleheader against North Georgia. Home runs in both of those games. But now he has a pair of swinging strikeouts against the lefty Nagum. A lot will be forgiven if he can get on base right now. Here's the first pitch. Fastball at the knees, a called strike 1. Dustin Averett, the pride of Shaw High School from right here in Columbus, came to the Cougars by way of Chattahoochee Valley Community College, and he takes below the knees for ball one. Dustin could have played anywhere for college, but he chose Columbus State because he wanted to stay close to home and could still play great baseball while doing it. A hard ground ball past a diving Green, and there's the first hit of the game for Dustin Averett. About a quarter of a way towards second, decides against it. Man who spends his time behind the plate, crouched, putting pressure on his knees, electing not to risk an extra base and run CSU out of the inning. Dustin Averett off the schneid for the moment, and it's the second straight two-out single for Columbus State. Consecutive innings, that is, and it brings the power threat Blaine Miller to bat. Miller has flown out to right, and he's flown out to left. Nagum would like to make him complete the full package and fly out to center this time around. First pitch, and a liner through the hole on the left side, a base hit. CSU getting back-to-back singles from their fourth and fifth hitters. Catcher and a DH. A catcher masquerading as a DH, that's Blaine Miller. So not much speed on the base paths. Kevin Manos will have to go to the wall if he expects to bring them both home. And Manos will get his chance at the plate after the first visit to the mound of the ball game for either side. Mike Jeffcoat coming out to have a talk with his pitcher. Nagum so good coming into this ball game. He had allowed just one earned run through 26 innings pitched. That's an ERA of 0.35. It was first in the Gulf South Conference. Carson Bowers took him deep back in the second inning for his second and third earned runs against on the season. And after a bit of math, it does make his ERA skyrocket by 50 points, all the way up to a paltry .85. Kevin Manos looking to get him deep into the ones this time around. Manos 1 for 2 today, a single and a run. First pitch from Nagum. Off speed, missed outside, ball one. Brandon may be starting to tire on the mound. He's losing a bit of his velocity. Averett on second. Miller on first. 2 outs, last of the 6th. CSU up 2-1, looking for more. Long pause as he looks back to second base, and now the pitch. Catching the knees for strike one. Manos stands in, taking 4 or 5 half swings. 1-1 pitch, fouls it back to the screen. Count goes to 1-2. Kevin was in the opening day starting lineup for Greg Appleton out in left field. He has since seen his playing time diminish into a platoon with Matt Nettles. Now looking to capitalize on the playing time he has now. 1-2 pitch coming from Nagum, and the offering. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Well, there's the velocity. It was just taking a quick break, and it comes back to retire Kevin Manos. Crucial strikeout for Brandon Nagum, and he gets out of his first real jam since the second. For Columbus State, no runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left aboard. And to the 6th, the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. We head to the top of the 7th from Ragsdale Field on a brilliant Tuesday night from Columbus, Georgia. Temperature dropping just slightly at 72 degrees right now. At 20 minutes out of 8 o'clock. A good weekday crowd for CSU. The fans coming out on the first close to summer day we've had in this city in a long, long time. I see a couple reporters from the local TV stations. Dave from Fox and Jonathan from CBS. A few Columbus State soccer players, always loyal partisans for most of the CSU sports, but especially Cougar baseball. And they have been treated to a real pitcher's duel in this game. Jake Ezell and Brandon Nagum going punch for punch. Nagum suffered the biggest blow back at the bottom of the 2nd inning when Carson Bowers hit a 2-run home run just over the banner out in left center field that signifies the Columbus State 2000 College World Series appearance. And Ezell's first pitch to Jimmy Radovian is a strike. Radovian reached on an error. That error bringing home the only run for West Florida, and struck out looking. He takes high and inside for ball 1. Jake Ezell, he is bent, he has not broken. His only run is unearned. He's left 6 men on base and relied on 1 double play through 6 frames. 1-1 pitch, half swing. Radovian frozen as that curveball changes direction, gets back into the zone at the last possible moment. The count goes to 1-2. Ezell into the windup. Here comes the pitch. Just missing on the outside corner. Averett framing up outside. Umpire not budging. The count goes to 2-2. And this is what we've seen from Ezell all night. He's gotten ahead in the count, but that lack of a really great put-away pitch has allowed West Florida to stay in it. Now the 2-2 pitch coming. Inside, ball 3. Fastball missing twice, once outside, once inside. And now all of a sudden, what was a 1-2 deficit for Radovian is now 3-2. A full count coming to the 8th batter, third baseman for the Argonauts. And the payoff pitch. Missing low, ball 4. Ezell had him on his line and let him wiggle free. Good patience from Jimmy Radovian. Radovian, who hits .216, but gets on base at a .344 clip. A man who knows how to draw his walks, and he draws one that time, starting a rally for West Florida in the top of the 7th inning. He brings up the 9th hitter. That's Kyle Hamner. A walk and a ground out on his record so far today. Jimmy a medium lead off of first base. Hamner shows bunt and he lays down a beauty. Ezell picks it up. His only play is to first base. A brilliant sacrifice bunt by Kyle Hamner. Does his job spectacularly. Puts the tying run in scoring position. West Florida has had men on second base in the 3rd and the 5th. They even had men on 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd inning. And now they've got 2 outs to play with to try and bring him home, and the top of the order looking to do the job. Chase Kiefer up, Alex Green on deck. In the hole, Nick Strasser. First is Kiefer, the 4th time through the order coming up for the Argos. Looking for a bit of leadership. Will Kiefer be able to provide it? Here's the first pitch from Ezell. Slider low and inside, ball 1. Kiefer, the junior, out of Pensacola. Pensacola Catholic graduate, stayed home to play for this strong Argonaut program. 1-0 pitch. Off speed again, outside for ball 2. Ezel starting to tire. Couple Cougars warming up in the bullpen. I don't know how much longer Jake has out there. Running out of gas after using so many pitches to get through the 6th. Radovian's on second. And a stoppage of play. It looks like we had a light go out here. Field looking just a bit darker. The field umpire saying there's still enough light to play. And it looks like it is the right side light tower just behind the first base dugout that is having the issues. And so the umpires give the players a couple extra seconds to adjust their corneas, pupils, whichever part of the eye lets in light. You can tell I was a science major in college, can't you? A 2-0 pitch coming from Jake Ezel to Chase Kiefer. And the offering. Fastball low, ball 3. Ezel, who already walked 1 in this inning, is in danger of doing another one. This time on just 4 pitches. Columbus State clinging to that 2-1 lead. They've had it since the 2nd inning. But West Florida always capable of the big bang. They score over 6 runs a game in a conference where that doesn't even put them in the top half. 3-0 pitch inside, ball 4, and there's your first 4-pitch walk of the game from the right arm of Jake Ezel. The midweek starter for Columbus State starting to run out of gas. He puts 2 men on with Alex Green coming to bat. Green with gap potential. He's got 5 doubles on the season. And it'll prompt a visit to the mound from Greg Appleton. It's the first visit for the CSU manager. We'll see if he comes with the hook or if he lets Ezel have one more batter to try and readjust himself. He was able to induce a ground ball for a double play to end the last inning. And the strategy talk, trying to figure out how they're going to get one of those double play ground balls in the 7th. And no, Ezel won't even get the chance. Coach Appleton calling for his lefty from the bullpen. And so Ezel out of the game after 6 1/3 innings. On to the mound. The big lefty, it's the closer for CSU, Trey Watson. We'll step away while he warms up and come back right to the action. You're watching CSU baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Trey Watson warming up. Trey Watson now on the hill for the Cougars. Southpaw senior out of Springfield, Missouri. Transfer from Crowder Junior College. Last year a second-team All-PBC pitcher, the closer for the CSU team. He had a 2.48 ERA and 11 saves with 32 strikeouts and 33 innings pitched. One of these fireballers, and you need to be a fireballer to be a closer nowadays. So far this season he's hit a bit of a hiccup, a 4.76 ERA with only 2 saves, one of which came in the first weekend against West Alabama. Now Watson on the hill to face Green with 2 men on and 1 out. After Jake Ezell departs after 6 1/3 innings of, so far, 1 run, 3 hit ball. Trey's first pitch, a fastball in there, a called strike 1. Jake responsible for the men on first and second. Alex Green looking to try and bring both of them in. He's 0 for 2 today with a walk, one of the 5 walks against Ezell. So he had 2 more walks than he gave up hits. A kind of Nolan Ryan day, except with not as many strikeouts, just 3. And a chopper back to the mound, this could be 2. Eiley's throw over to first base, in time, double play. Trey Watson coming in, getting the job done. 1 to 6 to 3, side retired. For West Florida in that inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left aboard. And hold up, folks, we got a talk going on out in the middle of the infield. West Florida's manager, that's Mike Jeffcoat, not happy with the call over at first base. He won't win this argument, and he'll head back to the dugout. And so will a dejected Green, who just gives up his position on first base. Stretch time from Columbus. The Cougars up 2-1 as we head into the end game portion of this one. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Last of the 7th inning from Ragsdale Field. The fans just treated to a dizzy bout race out in left field. All part of Fellowship of Christian Athletes night here at the Rag. We've had trivia questions all day. We've got a cornhole tournament going on somewhere behind us. And we've got a straight-up pitcher's duel here at Ragsdale Field. Brandon Nagum into the 7th inning. And he gets Carson Bowers to foul the first pitch back. 0-1. So Ezell lasted 6 1/3 innings, and it turns out he will have just the 1 unearned run against him. He's in line for the win. Nagum in line for the loss for the moment. And Bowers chops one over to shortstop. Green has it. The throw over to first base in time for out number 1. So Bowers, who homered off of Nagum back in the 2nd inning, a comebacker, and a ground out to shortstop.
The third baseman, number 11, Blake Edwards.
Now it's Blake Edwards, a line out to short and a fly out to right, part of his repertoire today. And it'll look to start another Cougar rally. CSU had 2 men on with 2 outs back in the 6th. Kevin Manos failed to get them around as Edwards swings through a slider for strike 1. Columbus State's held this 1-run lead like a fortress through 5 frames. They're looking for reinforcements. The heart of the order coming up next for West Florida: Strasser, Plunkett, and Stark. And CSU would want nothing more than to put some more runs on the board and give Trey Watson an easier time to get those final 6 outs. Foul ball goes over to the third base dugout. Strike 2. Now Edwards, much like his name twin, the director of the Pink Panther films, looking to sneak one like a Pink Panther by the West Florida infield. Two and two the count coming from Nagum, looking to best Ezel in terms of innings pitched. The 2-2, and a bouncer, another one over the shortstop. Green snags it. Another hard throw over to first base for the second out. So Nagum officially goes more distance than his counterpart Ezel, but it's a moot point at the moment as he finds himself nursing a 1-run deficit. And he'll go for his third 1-2-3 inning as Ryan Eiley comes to bat. Eiley, a strikeout, and then he poked a single up the middle back in the 5th. Eiley, the Ferny Grove Street High School graduate from all the way in Ferny Grove, Australia, where they are just descending into winter right now. Went to community college over at Colby Community College in Kansas. Check swing, he went around for strike 2. Found out about Columbus State and arrived as the team's starting shortstop this season, much like his favorite ball player, Derek Jeter. One of the more famous ball players in the world, all the way in Australia. Derek Jeter is still a superstar as Eiley fouls one back towards the rec center. Staying alive, count stays 0-2. Columbus State 2, West Florida 1. We're in the bottom of the 7th from Ragsdale Field. Will DeBoer with you on Cougar Sports TV. CSU, a 3-game losing streak, looking to get off the schneid, improve to 11-7 overall as Eiley takes at the feet for ball 1. West Florida looking for the comeback. They would advance to 12-5 on the young season. These two teams will be right back at it again tomorrow afternoon, a 2 o'clock start time here from Ragsdale Field. As Eiley swings and misses at the off-speed pitch, Nagum wins that battle, and that will retire the side. Cougs go down in order. We played 7 from Ragsdale Field. It's CSU 2, UWF 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Columbus State up 2-1, but the heart of the order coming up for West Florida. It's Strasser, Plunkett, and Stark. And if you're a West Florida fan, you're thinking that ought to produce something. So far on the night, it's produced the only run of the game for the Argonauts. Jordan Stark with a single that ate up the pitcher, Jake Ezel. He threw it away, and it resulted in Stark advancing to third base. Stark eventually came home when Jimmy Radovian's ground ball was mishandled by Ryan Eiley at shortstop. First, Nick Strasser coming to bat. Strasser, the freshman second baseman for West Florida, started the season on opening day hitting 7th in the order, and a batting average close to 500 17 games later. Coach Jeffcoat moving him up into the 3-hole. And you can expect he'll terrorize the Gulf South Conference for years to come. Now he's looking to terrorize Trey Watson in his first visit at Ragsdale Field. Watson misses low and inside for ball 1. Trey got out of a big jam in the 7th. He came in with inherited runners on second and first base, forced Alex Green to hit a comebacker, and started the 1-6-3 double play. Strasser checks swing, taking inside for ball 2. Now a recent series that has gone the way of a shootout, 8-6 last time around. In 2013, the two meetings here at Ragsdale, West Florida won 12-4, and then Columbus State won 5-3. Only 3 runs combined in the game so far on just 9 hits. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors for West Florida. 2 runs and 6 hits, 2 errors for Columbus State. 2-2 pitch coming from Watson, and a line drive straight into the glove. Carson Bowers read it like a book and checks it out on time. Strasser, his best contact on the day, just the wrong geography, and it puts 1 man away for Sean Plunkett. Plunkett looking to plunk one. He has 1 round tripper on the season. Just 5 total for the Argonauts as a team. First pitch from Watson. Plunkett showing bunt, brings it back in time for ball 1. Argonauts looking for a bit of leadership from their 4th hitter. An obvious choice for team leader would be any man named Jason. Sadly, there is no Jason on the Argonaut roster. I think that's a travesty. I think they all ought to change their name to Jason, but then that'd be like that Dr. Seuss book, Too Many Daves. Or the 1980s, when everybody was named Jason. In any case, lots of name varieties on the West Florida squad, and this Sean at the plate pokes one foul over our heads in the press box. Count goes to 1-2. Columbus State up 2-1. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 8th inning. Trey Watson came in the middle of the 7th, assumedly on to try and convert the rare 8-out save. Type of save you'd see in the 1970s out of Tug McGraw. And Plunkett stays alive, fouling this one deep into the Columbus night. Joggers beware on that side street behind us. So Plunkett steps back in. The left fielder looking to come through for the Argos. Into the windup is Watson. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball missing high and outside. Ball 2. Cold offense on a hot summer night. Hot spring night, rather. It feels like summer here from Columbus, Georgia. Watson's 2-2 in there. A cold strike 3. Got him with a fastball on the outside corner. Plunkett frozen like a statue, and he'll walk dejectedly back to his own dugout. First strikeout for Trey Watson, who averages about a K per frame. 2 up and 2 down, and now he's got Jordan Stark to get through to make it a perfect 8th. Stark 1 for 3. Make that 1 for 2, actually, a single and a walk. And a fly out to right. Watson missing low and outside. Ball 1. Stark bringing home the only West Florida run of the day. The single, the error, and then he came home on an error to give West Florida a momentary 1-0 lead in the middle of the second inning. Watson coming low, and that one crossed at the knees for strike one. It's not where it lands, it's where it counts. Where it counts is actually where it crosses. Saved line into beauty. 1-1 pitch and a comebacker tried to backhand it. Watson instead knocks it behind his back. Play not close at first base. We'll call it a single as Watson had to dig deep and try and get that out. Instead, Stark with an infield single. The tying run on base again for the Argonauts. And it brings dangerous Ladarius Clark to the plate. Clark, the all-or-nothing big bopper for West Florida. A pair of home runs, 14 RBIs, but 19 strikeouts. When he does get on base and it's not a home run, he's also a threat to steal. 10 stolen bases in 14 attempts. The 10 swipe bags second in the Gulf South. Now he'll step up to the plate with Stark on first and 2 outs. CSU looking to cling to that 2-1 lead. Watson is ready. First pitch, fastball, low and inside, ball 1. Clark on the day, 1 for 3. A ground out, a foul out, and then a single. Back in the 6th inning, he was erased on the double play by Kirkman. Watson from the windup, the 1-0 pitch. Screaming foul back to the side street. 1-1 the count. Stark on first base. 3 for 3 stealing on the season. Would not expect him to run in this situation. Not with the Argonauts only having 4 outs to play with. Trey with the 1-1 from the stretch. Fastball catching the inside corner, called strike 2. It's a 1-2 count to Ladarius Clark. Looking to pounce on one. Trey Watson bringing the heat if it doesn't have movement. That one going into the stands. Watson ahead in the count 1-2. Looking to win this duel. Trey is ready from the windup. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. Clark holds up. The count goes to 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Can Watson avoid falling into the trap that Ezel did? He does have a put-away pitch. Does he use it here? And a line drive foul. That one soaring over the right field bullpen, which has not seen any action so far today. West Florida content to send Brandon Nagum back out to the mound for the 8th inning. He's been pitching well all night except for that one offering that Carson Bowers took deep. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming. Watson is ready. From the windup, the 2-2. Check swing. If it stays fair, it does not. Clark way behind on that Watson fastball. Just able to get a piece of it, and will do it again. Trey Watson already had a strikeout earlier in this inning. He got Sean Plunkett looking 2 batters ago. Now he's got a 2-2 count on Clark. Ready to sit him down. Here's the 2-2. And a bouncer over to short. Eiley has it. Quick toss over to second base. Side retired. Ryan Eiley made just that one mistake in this game, but has not let up since. Given a second chance and capitalizing. The force at second base gets Trey Watson through the 8th unscathed. For West Florida, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard. Middle of the 8th, the score, Cougars 2, Argonauts 1. You're watching Columbus State Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Back for the bottom of the 8th from Ragsdale Field. The top of the order coming up for Columbus State. Their last chance at insurance before the 9th. Collins, Oliver, and McClellan. First comes Brendan Collins. Rough day today. A pair of strikeouts. He's 0 for 3. Came into this game one of the top hitters in the Peach Belt Conference. 5th in runs. Make that 3rd in runs with 25. 4th in hits with 27. 3rd in doubles with 7 as he takes the first pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Also 5th in stolen bases with 42, and he leads the conference with 11 stolen bases. Here's the 1-0. Collins taking low and outside, ball 2. Nagum out for his 8th inning of work. And this is the time for CSU to capitalize. It's their 4th time through the order. Collins sends a fly ball. Clark goes back on it, and it's off the wall. He can't get to it. And that's one way to get off the schneid. Brendan Collins, a long double off the base of the wall. And Columbus State has a man in scoring position for the first time since the 6th inning. CSU's first extra base hit since Carson Bauer's home run way back in the 2nd. It's their 7th overall. And you'll get a couple righties warmed up in the bullpen for West Florida. Now it's Jackson Oliver. Oliver, the reigning All-American, came into this game batting .333. Pretty good numbers, but when you're used to him seeing .386 next to his score sheet, it's a bit of a slump. He lays down another perfect bunt. Jackson Oliver electing for the sacrifice bunt, and he does so brilliantly, sending Collins over to 3rd base. It costs an out, but it brings a bit of insurance 90 feet from the plate for the Big Boppers. McClellan, Averett, Miller due up. First is Mike McClellan. McClellan, long ball potential. He just needs to send one into the outfield to bring the speedy Collins home. Mike 0 for 3 on the day, and he'll stay 0 for 3. They're not even going to give him a chance. The intentional walk coming, they're going to put him on base and take their chances with Dustin Averett. And this is the reputation that Mike McClellan has been getting through the first month of the season. You look at his stat sheet, 9 home runs, 24 RBIs, a slugging percentage in this game, coming into this game at .790. One of the 2 top sluggers in the Peach Belt Conference. He's neck and neck this season with UNC Pembroke's Collins Cuthrell. Cuthrell in the season, 9 home runs, 28 RBIs. His slugging percentage is over 1,000, and the difference there is McClellan's got 1 double, while Cuthrell has 10. McClellan takes his free pass. It puts runners on the corners with 1 out, setting up a double play, but bringing Dustin Averett to the plate. Dusty slashed a single back in the 6th inning to start a 2-out rally. He does the same here, and the Cougars have their 3rd run of the game. McClellan a big lead off of first base, and he's inching up further. First pitch, and a squeeze bunt is on. Collins charging towards the plate. The throw gets by the catcher. Squeeze bunt for Dustin Averett. The throw gets away. The runners will advance up. Greg Appleton going for the small ball, and it pays off. It's 3-1 CSU. Now that failed shovel pass from Nagum put the runners up, and it puts men on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. And it brings Blaine Miller to the plate. Miller 1 for 3 today. He went back-to-back with Averett on 2-out singles back in the 6th. Now a repeat performance right here would bring home more runs for Columbus State, finally starting to get to Brandon Nagum in just their 4th time through the order. That's all it took, folks. The 3rd time, not the charm, the 4th time the charm tonight for the Cougars. Now ahead 3-1, their first run since the 2nd inning, and they're not done yet. Nagum ready. The 1-0 pitch. Miller takes inside for ball 2. Blaine getting ahead in the count. A hitter's count coming up for Blaine Miller. All he needs is a single, but he's got long ball potential, as we have seen on this network 3 times. All 3 home runs for him this season coming at Ragsdale Field. Now the 2-0 from Nagum, and a foul ball, this one drifting out of play towards the concession stands. Two balls and a strike. Miller steps back in. That slightly open stance. Leaning back and forth, back and forth. Levels up as the 2-1 pitch comes, and he popped him up. Foul territory, drifting back into fair. The catcher, Hamner, catches it. And Miller not rising to the occasion that time. A weak foul out. And it puts 2 outs on the board, and the last chance in this inning, Kevin Manos. Manos had a single and a run back in the 2nd. Since then, a fly out to center and a strikeout. Now he bats with McClellan on 3rd and Averitt on 2nd. 2 outs, Columbus State holding a 3-1 lead. 2 more runs would go a long way to securing the win and ending the team's 3-game losing streak. Now here's Manos, a transfer from fellow Peach Belt school, Georgia Southwestern. And he takes a strike, 0-1. CSU got their run after a leadoff double from Brendan Collins. Jackson Oliver with a sac bunt. Intentional walk to Mike McClellan, and the squeeze bunt by Dustin Averitt brought home Collins. Here's the 0-1. And a line drive past the diving shortstop. That'll bring home a run, maybe 2. McClellan scores. Here comes Averitt. He'll score. 2-run single for Kevin Manos, and it's 5-1 Columbus State. And that may just about do it here. A 4-run cushion for the Cougars. And that's what it took to knock Brandon Nagum out of this ball game. Mike Jeffcoat coming to the mound, taking the ball. He'll call for his righty reliever. We'll take a break as he warms up. We'll get you his name as soon as we have the number. Columbus State breaking through. 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and they're not done yet. You're watching CSU Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Josh McLaney, the new pitcher for West Florida, finishes his warm-up tosses. 6'5" junior out of Laurel Hill, Florida. Graduate of Paxton High School. On the season, a 4.32 ERA. This is his 8th appearance. Mostly short relief. He's got just 8.1 innings under his belt. And now he comes in relieving Nagum with 3 runs home for the Cougars already in the bottom of the 8th. And he induces the ground ball. Carson Bowers bouncing one over to third base. Force out at second, and that will retire the side. But not before Columbus State puts some distance between themselves and their Pensacola rivals. 3 outs away from victory and a 4-run cushion. For Columbus State in the 8th inning, 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left aboard. We go to the 9th inning. It's Columbus State 5, West Florida 1. You're watching CSU Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. We head to the top of the 9th inning. Trey Watson and CSU 3 outs away from victory. They've got 4 runs to work with against West Florida after the Cougar Bats finally solved the puzzle that was Brandon Nagum in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nagum finishing his run with 7 2/3 innings pitched, 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. But it was that 8th inning and the 4th time through that Columbus State finally got a finger on him. Leadoff double from Brendan Collins, the sac bunt from Jackson Oliver, the intentional walk to Mike McClellan, the squeeze bunt by Dustin Averett that eventually put runners on second and third, and then 2 batters later, the 2-run single by Kevin Manos. Trey Watson delivering a strike to Nick Kirkman. It's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up now for the Argonauts. Kirkman, 3 groundouts. The 3rd was a double play, and he grounds one past a diving Edwards into left field. Puts one on the ground, but in the right spot that time. Nick Kirkman starting off the 9th inning with a single. Does West Florida have a rally in them? They've been held to just 1 run by Jake Ezel, who bent but didn't break for 6 1/3 innings. And Trey Watson, who's been both good and lucky since he came in with 2 on in the 7th, getting that double play, and then retiring the side, allowing just 1 hit in the 8th. Now he'll face Jimmy Radovian. Radovian reached on Eiley's error. That led to the only run of the game for West Florida thus far. And he takes a strike inside, 0-1. Jimmy not the strongest hitter for the Argonauts. 0-1, he swings through a fastball, 0-2. He just looked overmatched on that one. Again, Radovian more known for his glove than his bat. He's hitting just .216 on the season. In danger of trending towards that Mendoza line if he strikes out here. Watson missing outside on the fastball, 1-2 the count. Columbus State up 5-1. 3 outs to work with. Kirkman on first. McClellan holding him on. Medium lead for Nick off of the first base bag. 1-2 pitch and a blooper into right center field. Oliver won't get to it. It's another base hit. So the 7 and 8 guys getting it done for West Florida. The bats finally starting to come alive in the top of the 9th. But will it be enough? Kyle Hamner coming to bat, the 9th hitter in the order and the catcher. He had himself a sac bunt back in the 7th inning. No such sacrifice coming up here with West Florida down 4 and only 3 outs to go. And they won't even send Hamner up there. It's a pinch hitter. Tanner Barnhart, number 24, coming up for West Florida. Barnhart, just a .214 hitter on the season. This is his 7th appearance on the year. He started 4 games and he takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Barnhart, another Orlando native. The Argonaut roster is littered with them. Watson from the stretch, the 1-0. Fastball missing high and outside, ball 2. So for Trey Watson, can the wheels stay on for just a little while longer? So close to the finish line. Can he just hold on? Looks a long look back at second base and delivers a 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Barnhart whiffing on the fastball. The count goes 2 balls and a strike. They've got Kirkman on second, Radovian on first. No outs, top of the 9th inning. And West Florida still needs to get 1 more aboard to bring the tying run to the plate. 2-1 from Watson, swung on and missed for strike 2. Trey bringing the heat against his new adversary. And if he does it 1 more time, it's the first out. Watson gets his sign from Averett. And he's ready. Looks back to second base and delivers the 2-2 pitch. And a fly ball foul down the right field line. Barnhart getting good contact on it, but just a split second too late. He sends one out over the right field bullpen and towards Cougar Field, the softball home of CSU. And the Cougar softball team will be in action tomorrow as well at the same time as the Cougar baseball team. Both those games you can follow live stats live on CSUCougars.com. The 2-2 from Watson, and more of the same. Barnhart behind on a fastball, but he stays alive. The 7th pitch of the at-bat coming for Tanner Barnhart. A valiant effort from the sophomore, transfer from Sumter State College. Watson looking to put him away and move CSU 1 step closer to their 11th win on the season. Now the 2-2 pitch and a blooper into center field. It'll fall, another base hit. Collins on it in a hurry, so they just advance up 1 base. But 3 straight singles have loaded the bases, and now the top of the order coming up for West Florida. Here come the Argonauts. Jason or no Jason, they are on the charge. And it's Chase Kiefer leading the way now. Kiefer, .411 hitter on the season. A strikeout, 2 groundouts, and a walk in his stat sheet today. And while West Florida is not the long ball threat that Columbus State is, Kiefer is one of the men to go yard this season. 1 home run, 10 RBIs, 4 doubles for Kiefer, the Pensacola native. Can the hometown hero come through again for West Florida? Trey Watson ready from the windup, the first pitch. Fastball low, ball 1. Watson in a closer's role, Maybe he thought he could take a breath with the Cougars up 4 after getting those 3 runs in the 8th inning. While he was taking his breath, though, the Argonauts slipped 3 singles by him. Now the 1-0 pitch, check swing. Did he go around? The appeal, and the umpire says no. 2 balls and no strikes. Trey Watson in a boatload of trouble. Columbus State up 5-1 for the moment. That can all change with one swing of the bat. I think I see Robert Hayes warming up in the CSU bullpen. We'll see how long Greg Appleton sticks with his closer. 5 outs of an 8-out save down, 3 to go. But the heavy lifting having to come to get those final 3 outs. Kiefer fouls one back, 2 balls and a strike. West Florida scored 1 in the 2nd. The Cougars responded with 2 in the bottom of the 2nd, and then 3 in the last half inning, the bottom of the 8th. 5 unanswered runs for CSU. West Florida on the verge of an answer in a big way. From the windup, the 2-1 pitch. Low, ball 3. That one skipping the dirt. Watson falling way behind. 3-1 is the count. There's nowhere to put him. A walk forces in a run. And for Chase Kiefer, the dichotomy is if it's not close, you have to let it go by. If it's close, maybe you let it go by. If it's close enough, maybe you take a crack and see if you can poke one over this Ragsdale fence. The 3-1 pitch and a bouncer through the hole on the right side, base hit. That'll bring home 1 run. Kirkman scores. Radovian is stopped at third base. It's an RBI single for Chase Kiefer, the first RBI of the game for West Florida. And it's 4 straight singles off of Trey Watson. West Florida back within 3.
The shortstop, number 2, Alex Green.
And it doesn't get any easier. Alex Green coming to bat. Green, Strasser, and Plunkett due up. Anything to the wall could score all 3 runs. Watson walking the tightrope in the 9th inning. Can he stay balanced, or will he fall out? He's not got a safety net if you're wondering about that sort of thing. Fastball down the heart, a called strike 1. What seemed like it could have been a harmless inning for CSU, facing the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for West Florida, has turned into a chase towards a nightmare. Kirkman with a single, Radovian a single, Barnhart a single, Kiefer a single. Each harder than the last. The 0-1 and a bouncer. This could be 2. Eiley has it. The flip over to Bowers for 1. The throw to first. Double play! Trey Watson needed a ground ball in the worst way, and he got it. 1 run does come home for Columbus, for West Florida, but Columbus will gladly trade that one for the 6-4-3. It's the 3rd double play of the game for Columbus, all coming since the 6th inning. And it puts 2 men away. The tying run still at the plate. It's Nick Strasser. But things looking a lot clearer. Trey Watson almost out of the woods. Here's the first pitch. Fastball, dotting the I, ball 1. Columbus State 5, West Florida 3. Late inning dramatics here on Cougar Sports TV. Can Columbus hold on? 1-0, fouled back. Strasser just got a piece of it. The freshman star for West Florida, and he can continue adding to his legend by keeping this inning alive or even going long. Strasser has one of the 5 West Florida home runs on the season. Gap potential either way. 1-1 pitch, low, ball 2. The slider slid just a little too much. 2 balls and a strike now. Plunkett on deck, Stark in the hole. Threat after threat from this West Florida lineup. The 2-1 pitch, fouled back over our heads. Now it's down to strike 2. The biggest pitch of the game coming up right here. Barnhart on third. 2 outs, 2-2 count. Strasser at the plate facing Trey Watson. Columbus State 1 strike away from the win. Watson is ready. Into the windup. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And a bouncer foul will do it again. This one heading towards the third base dugout. Blaine Miller doing his best impression of Ryan Eiley, fielding that hard ground ball from the dugout. Keeps the count at 2-2. Strasser steps back in. Can Trey Watson win this duel with the young stud from Pensacola? Here's the pitch. Another bouncer foul. Strasser showing veteran presence in the box in these late inning situations. Just a freshman, my goodness. He could be witnessing the beginnings of an All-American. Trey Watson looking to add his name to his win list, his hit list for the moment. Watson with another 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Tried to catch the outside corner. Umpire having none of it. The count goes full. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Watson not wanting to face one more hitter. He wants to put him away right now. And the payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. Strasser with the great presence in the batter's box fights back from down on the count to draw the 2-out walk. And so now the tying run on base again, the go-ahead run in the form of Sean Plunkett at the plate. Plunkett 1 for 4 on the day, a single and a stolen base back in the 3rd inning. He faced Watson in the 8th and struck out looking. Barnhart on 3rd, Strasser on 1st. 2 outs, Columbus State clinging desperately by the fingertips of this 5-3 lead. First pitch and a little bouncer. If it stays fair, it could be the end, but it goes foul. A lucky bounce for Plunkett and maybe even for Blake Edwards. It would have been a tough play for the Gold Glover to make. He would have had to barehand it and do his best Chipper Jones impression. 0-1 the count now. Plunkett 2 doubles and 1 home run on the season. Anything in the gap ties the game. Plunkett takes a couple of practice swings and now he's back in the box. Trey Watson takes a deep breath. Here comes the 0-1. Slider low, ball 1. Watson having to scrap away. West Florida patient at the plate. Can he get him to break their patience with a perfect slider or curveball? We will see. 1-1 pitch. Foul ball. This one heading out towards the side alley behind us here at Ragsdale Field. And so now we'll do it again. 1-2 is the count. Columbus State 5, West Florida 3. 2 outs. Barnhart and Strasser on 3rd and 1st. Columbus State looking to put out the fire and come out of here with a Tuesday night victory. Watson from the stretch, the 1-2 pitch and a line drive into left field. It gets by Manos, it's to the wall. Barnhart scores. Strasser being waved around. He'll score without a throw. It's a 2-run double for Sean Plunkett, and we are tied from the Lumpkin Center. Not the Lumpkin Center, Ragsdale Field. From next to the Lumpkin Center, rather. Still in basketball mode, apparently. Sean Plunkett, the hero of the moment. It's 4 runs for West Florida in the top of the 9th.
The first baseman, number 16, Jordan Stark.
And so Trey Watson came in for the 8-out save. He got 7 of them. But that last out, so elusive. And Greg Appleton will step out and remove him from the game. It looks like Sean Thomas on the mound now for Columbus State. Will step away as he warms up. West Florida coming all the way back. We are tied 5-5 in the 9th inning. A bottom of the 9th coming up, possibly extras. You're watching Columbus State baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Sean Thomas finishing his warm-up tosses. Thomas, the junior from right here in Columbus, Georgia. Transfer from Darton State College. He went there after walking through graduation at the Brookstone School. And now he comes in after Trey Watson. Gives up 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning. Takes a blown save. And is responsible for the man on second base. That's Sean Plunkett, who got there with a 2-run double to the wall in left center. Now Thomas will look to sit down Jordan Stark. First pitch, Stark goes fishing at the curve, ball for strike 1. Jordan Stark, before this inning, had scored the only run of the game for West Florida on a single and a pair of errors. Now he bats with a chance to give the Argonauts their first lead since back in the 2nd inning when he scored. Thomas missing low with a slider, ball 1. The Cougars got their insurance in the 8th inning, and they needed every single run. 3 for CSU in the 8th, 4 for West Florida in the 9th. The Argonauts finally showing their true offensive colors, coming much closer to those 6 runs per game that they score. 1-1 pitch, catches the outside corner, a called strike 2. And so for Columbus State in the bottom of the 9th inning, they'll have Edwards, Eiley, and Collins, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Chance for heroics if they're not too deflated by having to play on into the 9th inning of a game they thought they had in the bag. Now the 1-2 from Thomas, fastball missing outside, ball 2. CSU not getting a few close calls here. Umpire keeping a strict strike zone. Thomas takes his sign from Averett, the catcher. Now the 2-2 pitch, and there a called strike 3. Got him with a fastball on the outside corner, and that will retire the side, but not before the damage was done. for West Florida in that inning. 4 runs on 5 hits. No errors, 1 left aboard. We head to the middle of the 9th from Ragsdale Field with the score Columbus State 5 and West Florida 5. You're watching CSU Baseball right here on Cougar Sports TV. Last of the 9th inning from Ragsdale Field. The Columbus State Cougars had it in the bag and they let the Argonauts out. A 5-1 lead evaporated in the top of the 9th inning. West Florida scoring 4 runs in the half frame. Coming all the way back and forcing extra time. Extra innings if Columbus State doesn't get a run home in this bottom of the 9th. They'll have Edwards, Eiley, and Collins due up to try and do it. On the flip side, a deflating top of the 9th means the potential for heroics in the bottom of the 9th. Will Blake Edwards be that hero? He's 0 for 3 today. This will be quite a way to make up for the rest of the day.